All right. Well, I guess I'll be the one to kick things off. But thank you so much for attending this afternoon and for being here with us for what I think is some really great news to share. And first I'd like to begin, of course, by acknowledging that the territory which we gather on is the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Wolastoqiyik people of the beautiful and bountiful river, and we operate under the treaties of peace and friendship. I'm really, really happy and excited to introduce and welcome my very good friend, our Minister, of course, of Environment and Climate Change, the Honourable Steven Guilbeault, for this very exciting announcement on our move towards clean energy. So this is a further tranche of some of our really big plans around the environment, and again, it's just so great to have our Minister with us for this piece. Fittingly, St. Thomas University has a long tradition of engaging youth, who are, of course, leading the climate fight in studies on environmental sustainability right here. Today's announcement is very good news. 20 million in pollution pricing returns that New Brunswick will be receiving for the Government of Canada through the Future Electricity Fund. This funding will go a long way in helping homeowners in New Brunswick improve their homes with energy-efficient upgrades as they get off heating their homes with oil. For example, through this program, Katie and William Bell from St. John are saving $615 each year on their energy bills after performing energy-efficient upgrades to their home with the help of the New Brunswick Enhanced Energy Savings Program. So they invested just under $7,000 to increase the insulation in their attic and ceiling, install a pellet stove and heat pump, and perform air sealing, which are things we should all be looking into in our homes, but here's a really great concrete example. They got back almost $4,000 from the New Brunswick Enhanced Energy Savings Program, which is huge, and of course, those 615 savings annually, they'll recoup that money in no time. This is exactly it's an example of how, as individuals, we can make these kinds of changes in our lives, and energy efficiency is such an important piece of this puzzle. I encourage every homeowner, of course, in New Brunswick to apply for funding that could help your family save on your energy bills. Clean energy is the fastest growing sector of our economy, is one of them, and New Brunswick is leading the way in energy innovation. Our province is home to one of the largest, most highly diversified energy portfolios in Canada, including hydroelectric power, solar, and wind. And of course, it's to our advantage in more than one way. Let's each do our part to fight climate change and save money while we do it. Really big focus on affordability, which of course we feel very, intensely out here on the East Coast. So without further ado, very short and sweet for me this morning, but thank you so much again for being here. Merci, and I'll pass it to our next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jenica, for introducing today's important announcement. Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour à toutes et à tous. Thank you all for joining us. It's a great pleasure for me to be here, my first time at St. Thomas University. Thank you for receiving us. And I'm very pleased to welcome Laurie Clark, President and Chief Executive Officer of NB Power, as well as Lauren Lipka, an energy efficiency specialist who are joining us today. Before we continue, I would also like to acknowledge that we are in the traditional territory of the Wolastoqiyik Nation. 2023 will go down in the books as one of the hottest the world has ever seen. In Canada, it was the year of record forest fires. And just a few months ago, a violent windstorm knocked out power for 129,000 homes and businesses in central and southeastern New Brunswick. We cannot ignore the mounting evidence of extreme weather events that come with climate change. As I often say, to combat climate change, we need to adopt two approaches: offense and defense. We need to reduce the carbon pollution that is contributing to climate change while preparing for its impacts. That's why the Government of Canada has launched our country's first ever National Adaptation Strategy, a plan to mobilize a whole of society to reduce risks to communities and cope with the impacts of climate change. But defensive approach is not the only part of the equation, because when you find yourself stuck in a hole, the first thing you need to do is stop digging. We must continue to reduce carbon pollution, which brings us to today's announcement. Une des principales stratégies que le gouvernement utilise pour s'attaquer à la crise climatique repose sur la tarification du carbone, parce qu'il doit y avoir un prix à payer pour polluer au Canada, et sur les investissements des produits de la tarification du carbone dans des projets de technologie propre qui réduisent cette pollution. Il est important de rappeler aux gens que chaque dollar prélevé par la tarification du carbone est reversé dans les provinces ou le territoire d'origine. C'est pourquoi je suis heureux d'annoncer aujourd'hui que le gouvernement du Canada tient parole en remettant au Nouveau-Brunswick plus de 20 millions de dollars en produits de la tarification carbone par l'intermédiaire du Fonds pour l'électricité de l'avenir. Un programme qui soutient des projets d'énergie propre, de technologie éco-énergétique et d'autres initiatives qui aideront le Canada à atteindre ses objectifs climatiques et à parvenir à la carboneutralité d'ici 2050. Again, It is built into the federal system that the proceeds of pollution pricing are returned, dollar for dollar, to the province or territory where they are collected. And today, I'm happy to announce that the Government of Canada is making good on its commitment to return over $20 million of carbon pricing proceeds to New Brunswick through the Future Electricity Fund, which supports clean energy projects, energy-efficient technologies, and other initiatives that will help Canada meet its climate goals and achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, while supporting Canadians with affordability issues. This funding will help New Brunswick carry out an enhanced energy savings program, which is designed to help homeowners make energy-efficient upgrades to their homes, like installing heat pumps, improving insulation and air sealing, and helping them leave costly and polluting home heating oil behind in favor of energy-efficient options. These upgrades will allow homeowners to save hundreds and possibly thousands every year in energy cost while better managing their energy use and reducing their pollution. On average, homeowners who switch from oil to cold climate heat pumps could save between $1,500 and $4,700 per year, every year, on home energy bills. And other federal programs are helping communities in the transition to clean energy, including Natural Resources Canada's Oil to Heat Pump Affordability Program, in which eligible homeowners with low to moderate incomes can receive up to $10,000 in federal support. Our programs have supported the installation of over 23,000 heat pumps in Atlantic Canada, including more than 7,500 in New Brunswick. By taking advantage of funding programs from different levels of government, some households could see up to 100% of their eligible expenses covered. You heard correctly, a free heat pump that can save your household thousands of dollars every year. Through the Future Electricity Fund, the government is reinvesting carbon pollution pricing proceeds collected from New Brunswick's electricity industry back into the province economy. This way we can create a strong, sustainable energy system that benefits the environment, the economy, and families. By investing in clean electricity projects, the Future Electricity Fund will help more Canadians to power their homes and businesses with more affordable, reliable, and efficient energy. Carbon pollution pricing has emerged as an essential tool for Canada to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and promote low-carbon economic growth. In fact, carbon pricing is estimated to account for about 30% of emission reduction that Canada needs to reach by 2030. Le gouvernement du Canada est déterminé à lutter contre les changements climatiques en réduisant la pollution par le carbone et en préparant la population canadienne aux répercussions des changements climatiques. Et nous reconnaissons le rôle crucial que les provinces jouent pour aider leur communauté à se préparer au changement climatique et à bâtir une économie faible en émissions de carbone. Grâce à des partenariats comme celui-ci, le gouvernement fédéral et les provinces, nous construisons un avenir durable, abordable et prospère pour l'ensemble de la population canadienne. Un avenir qui assurera une meilleure qualité de l'air et favorisera la santé et le bien-être de nos collectivités. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to Minister Guilbeault, also to Member of Parliament Jenica Atwin, and to all the other guests and members of the community and the students that are here today. I'm very fortunate to be leading New Brunswick Power during this time of significant transformation in the energy sector. Our team is focused on meeting the energy needs of New Brunswickers and continuing our path to a cleaner, greener future for generations to come. Today's announcement marks a milestone in our journey and another proof point of our strategic plan in action. Our strategic plan is called Energizing Our Future, and that plan will show us being off coal by 2030 and net zero as a utility by 2035. We're also very focused on helping our customers manage their energy bills. Energy efficiency programs are making a tangible impact and changing the lives of our customers and New Brunswickers. Since 2015, New Brunswickers have saved over $773 million in lifetime energy costs through energy efficiency programs. Our Enhanced Energy Savings Program helps New Brunswickers who have a household income less than $70,000 a year with efficiency upgrades that could see them getting heat pumps, free insulation, free air sealing. This allows them to better manage their energy bills, be more comfortable, and also help the environment. This program has been very, very successful for New Brunswickers. With the support of the Future Electricity Fund and support from the province, we are able to help even more customers make their homes comfortable and energy efficient, and as I said, help customers with their energy costs. At NB Power, we are committed to delivering value for our customers while working towards a sustainable, clean energy future. This announcement from Environment and Climate Change is another step towards that goal. Thank you all for having me here today.
Right. Thank you. My name is Lauren Lipka. Honorable Ministers and all distinguished guests here today. I am Lauren Lipka and work with the incredible team at the Canadian Home Builders Association New Brunswick to promote residential construction, energy efficiency training, mentorship, and support to our industry. I am a registered and qualified energy advisor and trainer with Natural Resources Canada. We provide training related to Energy Star for new homes, the R2000 initiative, Net Zero Ready, and Net Zero labeling programs. Working with the Canadian Home Builders Association New Brunswick, I have the pleasure of providing training to all sectors of the residential construction industry: builders, renovators, HVAC professionals, energy advisors, real estate professionals, building officials, and housing manufacturers. Our association provides the training support to those who build and renovate energy-efficient homes, and we help consumers make informed energy-efficient decisions. We have a very strong partnership with NB Power and the Department of the Environment, and together we provide free training to thousands of New Brunswick housing professionals and homeowners every year to enhance our industry's skills and knowledge of energy efficiency. With the support of the Department of Environment and local government, we provide free weekly building science workshops virtually to hundreds of New Brunswick homeowners. Right. Funding such as this, today announced, empowers organizations such as ours to research, develop, and provide the latest knowledge and technologies to our industry and homeowners here in New Brunswick, which supports the professionals who will build the net zero homes of the future. We would like to thank the Government of Canada and the Province of New Brunswick for continuing to invest in climate change awareness and activities. We look forward to continuing our partnership with the province and NB Power to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. Thank you.
I guess it's me again. So that brings our formal remarks to a close, but we are now open for questions and answers for our speakers today. I believe two, one and a follow-up. Okay.
Actually, I can do this part.
Okay.
Hello, my name's Elise. I'll be moderating the Q&A portion today. Before asking your question, please clearly state your name and the media outlet you're representing, and please limit yourself to one question and one follow-up. Mon nom est Élise, je vais animer la session de questions et réponses. Avant de poser votre question, s'il vous plaît, clairement nous dire votre nom ainsi que le média que vous représentez et vous limiter à une question et un suivi. Ah, aussi, il faudrait indiquer à qui votre question s'adresse. Please let us know who your question is for. So I don't know if there's... Yeah, there's a microphone. If you want to... Go ahead. Yes.
Hi, excuse me. It's John Chilbeck from the Telegraph Journal. If I could talk to the Environment Minister, that'd be great. I was looking at some of the numbers NB Power has already realized with their home energy savings program. enhanced energy savings program. I think it's something like 6,000. They're hoping to get 10,000 done by the end of this year. It's laudable, but it's still a very small percentage of overall households. So, you know, this sounds like it's a lot of money, 20 million, but realistically, will it get us where we need to be with reducing energy waste in households in New Brunswick?
The short answer to your question is no. And this is one of many announcements to come in New Brunswick as well as in other Atlantic provinces to ensure that we can help more homeowners reach these goals of energy efficiency. So I can't comment on the specific numbers from NB Power, but clearly we need to do more, and we are in fact doing more, and they will, as I said, there will be many more announcements, whether it's from my department, Natural Resources Canada also has more announcements to come. We need to do more. I agree with you 100%.
Your government's been criticized for its reducing the carbon tax on oil because it favors more Atlantic Canadians, let's say, than Western Canadians who don't use a lot of oil. They use more natural gas. And then you've tied this to reducing oil consumption here. Is there any link between those, that criticism? Were you hearing that criticism, and is that tied at all to this announcement?
So home heating oil is the most costly, polluting, and inefficient way of heating a home. Which is why we decided to target first and foremost this form of energy in terms of home heating. And the reason for the pause on pricing for home heating oil was, the very purpose of carbon pricing is to incentivize new behaviors, either by businesses or individuals and citizens. And what we discovered is that for many homeowners, especially in Atlantic Canada, but not just in Atlantic Canada, being able to make the transition from home heating oil to something else was difficult to do because many of those homeowners tend to be low to moderate income. So they don't have the money to pay the upfront cost of making the transition, which is why we've come up with new programs where we can, between the provincial and federal government in provinces that are participating, we can pay up to 100% of the cost of making that transition. So it will enable us to help tens of thousands of people make the transition, and then carbon pricing will come back. By then, we figure that there won't be a whole lot of people still using home heating oil. That's the plan. Thank you. Laquelle? La première partie de la question était est-ce que c'est suffisant, et la réponse est non, c'est pas suffisant. On doit en faire plus pour aider les personnes à faire la transition, que ce soit du chauffage à l'huile, au gaz naturel, au propane, vers des formes plus propres comme l'électricité et notamment les thermopompes. C'est pourquoi notre gouvernement, en collaboration avec plusieurs provinces, a mis en place un programme où, grâce au financement du fédéral et des provinces, nous pouvons payer jusqu'à 100% du coût de la conversion d'un système de chauffage à l'huile, par exemple, vers les thermopompes, ce qui va permettre aux gens de sauver entre 1 500 et 4 700 $ par année sur leur facture d'énergie dans la région. Alors, il faut en faire plus et nous allons continuer d'en faire plus pour aider la population de la région des provinces atlantiques à faire cette transition. Merci.
Also a question for...
Oh, sorry.
Also a question for the Environment Minister.
And your name?
I'm
and-
Rebecca Howder from CBC.
Thank you.
So Premier Higgs says Irving Oil strategic review and possible sale of the refinery is due in part to your climate policies. What would you have to say to that?
I can't really comment. I'm not an expert on oil markets. What I will say, there was a report that came out today, or maybe it was at the end of last week, that said that in order to ensure the future of the refinery, it needs to invest in decarbonization, which is exactly what our government is doing through a number of different initiatives to help industries in different sectors, but including in the oil and gas sector, invest in decarbonization. We know that the world is moving towards decarbonization. According to the International Energy Agency, we will, in the transportation sector, we're consuming about 40 million barrels of oil a day. that will go down to about 2 million barrels of oil in 2050, because everyone is moving towards electrification of their transportation all around the world. According to the same International Energy Agency, 5 years ago, 1 in 5 vehicles sold in the world was an electric vehicle. 1 in 20 3 years ago. Today it's 1 in 5, 20% in the world. In Quebec, it's 20%. In BC, it's 25%. On average, in Canada now, it's about 10%. So Canadians are embracing electrical vehicles, which will obviously drive down the demand for oil, refined product in Canada, but also all around the world. And clearly, for these companies, the future is in alternatives, which is why we're helping them invest in biomass, alternative fuels, hydrogen, because that's where the world is heading.
Thank you. And do you think a large oil refinery like that has a future? And is there a business case for it to be operating in 10 or 20 years?
Well, I think clearly we will still need to be using fuels, but we will be using different type of fuels. I spoke about hydrogen. We could talk about different types of alternative fuels that are being produced. And in fact, we're seeing in Canada investments in hundreds of millions of dollars come by chance in Newfoundland, in Saskatchewan, in Quebec, NRCam. There are multiple examples of companies, including oil companies, Shell, Suncor, Imperial, investing in these initiatives because they see that's where the future is heading, and the federal government wants to be a partner with them to make that transition.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? You may head to the microphone.
Anna Mandan, Global News, also for the minister. The money that's announced today, could you just break down how people in New Brunswick will see that practically?
Well, perhaps Laurie would be in a better position because what we're doing really is sending this money to the New Brunswick government and NB Power to invest in some of their initiatives to help homeowner with energy efficient initiatives. So maybe Laurie, if you...
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, this money will be used towards our enhanced energy savings program. And as we've talked about in the past, there is a waiting list for this program, so we're very happy to have additional money coming from the federal government as well as the money that's coming from the province to help deal with the wait list and the customers that are looking to improve the efficiency of their home and reduce their overall energy bills.
Yeah, is that the only ways it'll be applied?
Through our energy efficiency program, it can also go to training, as we had spoken about earlier, but primarily it's focused on directly to customers with the enhanced energy savings program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Merci. Getting my steps in. Any other questions? Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions? Donc, on va conclure cette session de questions-réponses. We'll conclude this media event. I would ask all of the speakers to maybe stick around for a group photo. Perhaps going in front of the podium might be best.